All right, welcome along. My name's DJ Bosh, and this is Bosh's Beginner Bits episode 6, I believe now. And today I want to look at drum variation. This is one I've really wanted to cover for quite a while now, because what I find is a lot of people tend to make a drum loop. I'm guilty of this doing this as well. So they'll make a 2, maybe even a 4-bar drum loop, copy it into the arrangement view, and then they don't change anything with that drum loop. So from about 30 seconds on, you know that that's all you're going to be hearing in the drums throughout the whole track. So I'm just going to build a kit. What I didn't want to just have the kit already in there, so we can go through the process of making a kit together as well. So let's start. Let's find a kick. That'll do. Alright, I'll go through what I do with my drums as well, just to tighten everything up a little bit. So here, there's a lot of boom at the end of that, so we're just going to shorten that. There, so you haven't got as much of that bass floating around at the end of that. It gives you a bit more room for your sub-bass and your bass line and stuff. So let's find a snare, or a couple of snares. Always nice to have a few different variations of your snare so you can use them for fills and things like that later on. Let's go back to the CRST ones because they've got some quite good ones in here. Let's get a clap. Let's put this in. Now, in my last video, I was talking about track separation and having all your different elements of drum kit on different tracks. For this video, I'm just going to keep them all in one drum rack because we're focusing more on the variation. Alright, let's put that one in there. Let's get a few others. Let's get those two. Let's put those there. I kind of like to stack my drum racks in the order that I'd be using things. So, kick and snare, keep them on the bottom there. You have a couple of kicks and a couple of snares. Any extra percussion I'll put here in this middle one, and then hi-hats and cymbals here, and then extra cymbals like crashes and rides in this top one, maybe a little bit of percussion. As I've already said, I do split these into other tracks, but sometimes I like to compose in drum rack all in one and then split it all off, take all the instruments out and things, and separate everything up. So we've got kicks, we've got snares. Let's look at some hi-hats. That's a pretty standard one. Let's get that in there as well. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do for now. Let's get a little bit of percussion. Just some random bits here. Let's go hits. Let's get a couple of shakers. They'll do. And let's get, what else have we got here options-wise? Tambourines, not so keen. Let's go with something a bit more percussive. Yeah, that's all shaken, that's why. Let's go hits. And let's put them in. Alright, so we've got an alright drum kit here. Nothing too amazing, but it'll do the trick. So you're going to click a MIDI track in here, just double click in the empty gap, and that'll give you 1 bar of MIDI to play with. Let's expand this so we can see all the drums here. Now, this bit's the most important thing here, the length. This is 1 bar. If I click here and change this to 4, then you'll see here we get 4 bars. So let's start with 1. I'm usually making dubstep and reggae and things, so let's do a standard sort of dubstep beat. Let's put the hats in, let's just free ball it here a bit. Let's have a listen. Okay, so within 4 bars of that, I already know what's going on. Nothing's changing, not very exciting. So for drum variation, let's click in this length section here I showed you before. Let's set that to 2. Hit return. And then copy what you've already got. So now it goes twice. Cool. So all you want to do now is just add 1 small change here. So let's go, let's put a kick. Alright, and that's it for now. let's click on here and go 4. And do exactly the same thing again. Copy and paste. And now what I'm going to do is let's put some of these smaller snares in. Let's do that. So at the end of this 2 bars here, we've got a little variation. Let's put something at the end of the 4th bar here. Let's do the clap. Cool. So it's not the most perfect thing in the world, but you can see now we've got a little bit more variation. We've got some interest added. Let me just sort something out on this snare because it sounds worse than I'm willing to deal with. So I'm going to cut the low end on this one. Alright, let's pull this down a little bit for the sake of clipping. Cool. Now what I'd be tempted to do here is start playing around with the shakers and things. So let's put these shakers in on 16ths. No, actually, tell you what I'm going to do. Let's do it like this. So these shakers are going to sit low, and they're only going to come in on every other beat where the snare is. So let's have a listen how that sounds. Could be bad, could be good, but let's see. Let's do that. Cool. And then we're going to do the same again. So this 4, let's change that to an 8. Hit enter. Duplicate that. And now the only thing I'm going to do here is put, let's see how these go-go's sound. Okay. Let's put this one here. Let's draw these in. And then on the end one, let's delete everything here. And let's leave a little drum break sort of thing in here. So what I'm going to do to vary this is draw one of these in at a really low velocity and then slowly bring each one up. Cool. So that's pretty much it, really. The base advice here is make a bar loop, copy it, make it twice as long, add a little bit of variation, just a small amount, and then double it to 4 bars, add a little bit more variation probably at the end of the 4th bar, double it, and then add a little bit more variation at the end of the 8th bar, and so on. You can do this for 16 as well. Let's have a little quick go at that. So change this to 16. Double that. Let's get rid of this now because we've already got that. Let's do... And let's have a listen to this. Yeah, and that's it. So not the most perfect example of a good beat. It's a bit janky. I've just kind of thrown it all together, but you can. It just gives you the idea of how you can keep your drums interesting, and that means it's one less thing that you have to do to make your track keep developing as you go. So I'm going to leave it there. My name's DJ Bosh. This has been Bosh's Beginner Bits episode 6, drum variation, and I'll see you next time. To learn together.